Hello and welcome everyone, I'm C.S.Gilmore and this is Iratus, Lord of the Dead. Was kinda got distracted by a lot of other games for a while there, but we're gonna keep trying this. We're going to head off into the dwarf tunnels and let's see how the second stage will fare in comparison to the first one. I mean, the first one we were pretty well able to just bulldoze our way through it. Now I'm curious to see whether that'll be the case here. Doesn't escape, deals stress damage to itself at the start of each of its actions. For every point of sanity missing, gains 1 attack. So this gets stronger the more stress it is. Got it. Let's get rid of your block. Burning. So far so good, not a bad start. Alright, yeah, double attack, alright. Buff shield. Alright. 1 hit. Shields up, armor higher, resistance higher. Okay, so they've got some good abilities. I do that, or just keep attacking. We have its next action. The world deals physical damage to enemy at the marked position. That doesn't span action. 1 target per round. Yeah, let's do that on you. You do magic attack with them. You're still alive, really. How many hit points do you have left? 1? 1 hit point. Okay, so I'll just leave you to die of burning. You focus on and
this is my kind of entertainment.
oh yeah, wait, that's gonna miss. I forgot it's based on where they were, not which enemy. I forgot about that feature of the enemy attack. Oh well. Guess we'll just have to do it with. Still don't really have to use spells.
Soon this world will be mine.
Ooh, what did we get? Skullfall? Unlocks a secret destruction spell, 1-time use. Dust, vulture's feathers. Alright. Digger souls, yep, okay. Gain some useful items. Ring of the Apocalypse. Okay, more spell power. Gain some good things out of there. Let me check my graveyard just real quick. You're working, you're working. Everything's good there. Each meeting has a chance to randomly find a random artifact. I do not have enough Digger Souls for much of anything right now. Okay. Well, anyhow, back to the chamber. Let's keep our fight moving for now. Mystical chest containing artifacts. That'll be nice. Don't worry about it. Ooh, liquid. Gains chance to stun enemies. He trade damages with destruction spells. At the start of combat, all enemies lose 1 shield block. Ooh, that's really good. Yeah, that one.
The dark collecting.
Okay, give me 1 second to go equip that. Particles. This is the baseline chance that an enemy will die due to a heart attack. All enemies receive initiative for their 2 turn. Yeah. I feel like that one's not as worth it as this.
It embellishes my undead features.
And yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with what I've got right now. Okay. Let's get you guys dealt with. Ooh. Which one do I want to upgrade? Already upgraded that and that, so it's really the ones I don't really use for now. Which one would be the better for my overall stat bonuses? Restores 10 mana to Iratus? Or yeah, this seems like
Now,
the extra
prove yourself worthy of my investment.
Stats. Abilities. Upgrade that. Go. Okay. About.
Serve me well, my minion.
Then stats. Yeah, let's get your luck up, sure. Okay. Then which path do we want? Oops, that's the wrong way. Which path? We go left, we get fight, then soul spring. We could use more of those. And dormant minion. Go up this way. What's this? Cultists. Random consumables or minion specific items. Restoration fountain. Quest is all the way over there. Is there a quest nearby in a different area? That area, otherwise. Quest and quest. I'm trying to decide on my course of action. That would be a bit out of the way, I feel. So, yeah, if we go left, then up, and right, I think is the way I want to go. Boom. Yes, okay, choose the squad. What's up, guys? Shame you don't have any armor. It's almost like I got rid of it all somehow. Same for you. Anything that hits everyone. What's that?
Kill, my darling, kill!
Down.
My will is a tide that will wash away your pathetic civilizations.
Tokens, maddening amulet. You may go insane if sanity is 85 or less. A better skull. Allow life recover. Huh. Alright, let's just keep moving. Yeah, keep going. Okay, it's somewhat annoying that I have to keep selecting my squad every single time. It would be kind of nice if it, like, I could just set a default and go with it. And we'll go up through the grave, cultists, or from there. Yeah, you're not so strong if I get rid of your armor.
One by one, life vanishes from this world.
These DLC minions are very strong, by the way. Like, I feel like they almost are, like, maybe game-breakingly in some regards. It doesn't feel like the struggle it's probably supposed to be. It feels more like a... just, okay, cool, I have to work my way through this pile of enemies.
So, this is what 1,000 years of evolution looks like? Yeah, pathetic.
There we go. And also I find that a lot of my abilities are just not being used because they're... Damage dealt as Wrath. Because a lot of these abilities just aren't ideal for my general playstyle, or for just burning through enemies quickly. Okay, go up here. What have we got? Ooh, we get some good ones out of this. Did I not have one right now? Already got one of you. Got one of you. Could use more, I suppose. But let's get you. Ooh, a level 9 Dark Knight. Alright. Well, let's take care of your stats here real quick. And everything else. Okay. You're primarily a frontliner. Damage to equal to of the sum of the Dark Knight's armor and resistance. So higher base but lower bonus, or lower base but higher bonus. Let's go with that
Get
one.
back to battle.
You have no multi-attacks, except for your Wrath one. Okay. Not ideally what I would like in my minions. Additional damage for each buff or debuff. Deals additional damage equal to some of the Dark Knight's armor and resistance. Okay. Stress damage to it. Or each time an enemy receives a buff. It seems more likely to happen. We'll go with that. Stats. Boom. Alright, good enough. Working from there. I've got a better skull and I've got a better... I don't really have anything that works for my cartoons than using better ashes. Nope, nope, nope. Well, guess we'll just continue on for now. I don't feel like playing around with upgrading every single critter I have just this moment. It's more, I just want to keep moving. I feel like that's something that this game is struggling with. It just feels like a roguelike of just grinding through the battles. Not necessarily like the armor. Defense. That makes me think that you're like important. I'm going to put annoying buffs on my on the guys I'm trying to. We're gonna make you a priority target. But yeah, it just feels like a grind through the levels with very minimal story between. Like, as we defeat each boss, we get a brief bit of story. I think that's what's missing in comparison to, like, my best comparison here is Darkest Dungeon. And Darkest Dungeon had it so, like, there was stories for most of its main elements, and then there was some filler, but even then it still had kind of a balance to why it was the way it was.
That's gonna leave a mark.
And I don't know, this just feels like a lot of... It feels like... Yeah, I think that's the way it is. This one, it feels like... Feels like filler. For majority of it. It's just there, like... The battles are just there to pad the combat. In a way. Instead of it being more of a... The combat is there to create the feel of, yeah, you're working a dungeon, you're exploring things. This is just it. Yeah, you're just working through obstacles. Constantly, like, it's almost like there's too much.
You know, if this keeps up, I'll be done purging the world ahead of schedule.
Work for it treasure. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, there's something about it that's... It feels like this is missing something, and I'm trying to figure out what. Hello, Dynamite. Dwarves Ward, one-time use. All enemies lose vigor. That's pretty strong. Pound of Flesh. Receives one charge of Break and Swallow. The werewolf receives luck and critical hit strength until the end of each time. Hourglass of Doom. Reaper, spell power. Dynamite, please. I like explosives. Get rid of your wards. And you look like a merchant that's going to give my enemies a bunch of buffs or something. Nope. You are going to die is what you're going to do. As soon as I can get through you. The musket feels like... I don't know. I feel overpowered. Darkest Dungeon, it felt like there was... It was hard, but it felt still more balanced than this. This one is very much in my favor. Darkest Dungeon, sometimes it felt pretty against me. But
this never
part of it is also
old.
There was an air of mystery to Darkest Dungeon that captured things differently. There was always that, ooh, but what if I find the secret room? What if I find
stockpiles?
The new goodie over here? What if I run into the boss fight that I wasn't expecting? The mini boss that is fighting some of the normal bosses in the middle of a combat, I'm not ready for it. This is just, I know more or less what I'm going up against every time.
Death delivered.
Also in Darkest Dungeon, like, the skill felt very necessary and purposeful. Like, it was very much necessary to pick specific skills to balance each other out, to complement each other. A sad
display for mortal kind.
This one, it feels like I just use whatever skills happens to be convenient at the time. Ooh, an ectoplasm. Alright. Let's see, I should have enough stuff here. Shall we do that with you? Yeah. Come on, get over here. A shade? Oh, misjudged what that was I needed. 1 second, I can fix that. Creations. Where was creations? There it is. Shade. No, that's one I can't make, is it? Shade. Rain out, trigger insanity and 80 enemies. Okay, never mind. We're not gonna get shade anytime soon. I don't really do the insanity route. That's something else. Darkest Dungeon had stress, and stress was like deadly. It was you had to worry about it thing. This one, there doesn't feel like there's stress, and it doesn't feel like there's a reason to change out the party. There doesn't feel like there is. What are you? Bone Golem? Can I make a Bone Golem? No. Gather 40 bones. Still a long way to go. You know, we'll just keep going. I don't know. I hope I'm making sense with what I'm getting at here. That this game isn't bad. I love the look of it, but it feels like there's something that it's missing. And that bothers me. Because it feels like something important is missing by... I'm not sure what it is that is quite putting it where it is. It's giving me that feeling. Like, it should have something that it doesn't right now. And maybe it'll change up some stuff on me later on, like maybe one of these levels the enemies will be only susceptible to more of the stress type attacks. And that'll actually serve a purpose, but right now it doesn't feel like it does, because it doesn't seem to really damage. It doesn't feel like it really does damage to them, if that makes sense. It just feels like it gives them a chance to run away, it gives them a chance to do other things, including positive things. Lose accuracy, curse plate, block, and ward, but their initiative is reduced to 0. Deals lightning magic damage to the first 3 enemies. Spell power. Alright. Chain lightning. Magic damage to the first 3 enemies. Power increases stealth by 2%. Mana. Power fist.
More for me.
I like that better than I would go in that place. Maybe not then. Don't want to replace that really right now with what I've got. So if all enemies lose, that's a one-time use, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll just keep going. Also, yeah, I don't feel like it's necessary to use most of my abilities. I've barely touched. You've seen it. I'm not using my spells. I'm not using a lot of my items, even just because, unless they're giving me a passive bonus, I don't need them. Magic damage additionally, or if the target is stunned. Got the Alchemist, and focus on what looks like a pistol of some sort. Oracle.
Hope there will still be enough left to reanimate.
This also suggests that Iratus is raising a lot more of these things as creatures than I actually am. Like, also like how this is going is that Darkest Dungeon, it felt like a very small scale. It was a town with some dungeons. It felt like a town with some dungeons. Dealing with like a state's grounds and surroundings. It made sense for there to be a small squad. This feels like it should be an army. Because this is we're going up against the surface. We're fighting our way to the surface. We're taking out, we're bringing doom to the world. And it feels like this should
As your suffering ends, your service begins.
So maybe part of that is because the idea is that we're just what I'm controlling here is just the vanguard, the leading unit of troops heading in, pushing things forward, and preparing the way for the rest of the army. I guess, but at the same time, it still feels odd that way. Alright, let's actually do something here.
Don't know why. There's no sun up in the sky. Balmy weather incoming.
Go. There. Get him. Good.
Lucky that'll take up 2.
Yep. This also has that whole thing of the bodies die, they disappear. They're out of the combat set. They're not underfoot. And I think that changes up a lot of the feel of this as well, because it makes the positioning feel a little less important. Not as many things seem to interfere with it. In a way, that's a good thing. This is maybe, in a way, that's probably, in some ways, it's kind of a good thing. It's less annoying. And I do like that it resets where my characters are at the end of each battle, rather than me having to manually reset like it did, as I recall, with Darkest Dungeon. You had to manually put your characters back in position. Gains Wrath. That'd be an interesting one-time use item. I'll save that for a boss fight, maybe. Each time Iratus uses a spell, random enemies dealt stress damage. More rags. I don't even feel the need to upgrade my stuff right now. Your march leaves your enemies in disarray. Steadily you can see them retreating before your might. In this particular instance, you encounter a large number of dwarves right in the middle of their evacuation process, a perfect opportunity to gain a few more miniature limbs. However, these dwarves are not carrying supplies or weapons, they are carrying chests. You notice the spark of treasure underneath the lids. As the dwarves see you approach, they quickly board the carriages and prepare to flee. Let your ghouls handle this. I don't have ghouls on me, so risky, but higher chance that you will catch them. Pursue them with caution. Without caution, more cautious approach minimizes risk. I don't care about risk right now.
I can use this.
The dwarves were never particularly fast on their feet, and even on carriages powered by steam, the passages were far too narrow for them to get any decent speed. Your shambling corpses, as it turns out, are far faster, especially when spurred on by the will of the necromancer. Your minions drive them into a corner and dispatch the entire group. Now their treasures are yours. Bracers of Madness, Dusk. Ring of Purity unlocks a secret ire spell. Devour Magic. Removes all buffs from an enemy, restores 5 mana for each buff removed. Huh. Okay. It still doesn't necessarily feel like... Removes a secret ire spell. Or unlocks a secret ire spell.
Now I will make mortals tremble before me. Well, even more than previously.
Let's just give it a shot. And I should probably spend some actual upgrades. What do I want? Increases the chance of receiving a brain at the end of the battle. More vigor when Iratus uses distillation. Using calcination. Minions gain more vigor.
Through transformation, the will becomes free.
Alright. There we go. few upgrades. Yeah, let's test out this secret ire spell. Devour magic. I guess that's all it means, is they just added that one spell they was mentioning. So is that really a secret spell at that point? All buffs from an enemy restores 5 mana for each buff removed. These guys even have buffs. That's cool. Automation? Automaton? Alright. I should stop harping on the game, though.
Dust.
Yeah, like I said, it feels like it's missing something. I kind of mentioned why I think that something might be. But at the same time, it does do a lot of things well. The art, beautiful. The voice lines, pretty well delivered, though maybe not quite as iconic as the ancestors' lines.
You will soon embrace your new existence.
Definitely better if you're looking to do a more relaxed play, I feel, than Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon was very difficult.
Was your first.
Even on the easier difficulty.
Opposing
this one,
me?
the easier difficulty feels easier.
Your last.
Well, I can't say for sure because I'm not. But the normal difficulty feels a lot easier than. Got a lot of hit points there, bud. What a shame. And
a predictable outcome.
I do like the idea of being able to improve your units and stuff like this. And it's a little less nit-gritty about having to pick out skills for every unit all the time. One part will drop after Iratus wins a battle. That's kind of cool. Like one of these items that goes in here. Yeah, okay, I kind of like that more than the initiative bonus. And we'll put this back because I like.
Now I will make mortals tremble before me. Well, even more than previously.
Stella contains the records of past battles, which can be used to raise the level of minions or Iratus himself. Alright, well, let's jump in here. Let's level up Mom minions. Current level. There we go, everyone's leveled up. From there, I should be able to make a nice touch to everyone's stats. Attack and dread until the end of battle. Whenever an enemy moves, deal physical damage to it, or whenever an enemy moves, Pride gains evasion while in this stance, or ignores armor. I like ignore armor. Save up. You can upgrade your attack. Great. Lose all armor resistance until the battle ends. Ignores block. Lose all blocks towards ignores block. Deals damage. Battle ends. Target loses all blocks towards ignores block. What's the difference between that and battle ends? Deals more damage. Does it mean until this attack is over, or does it mean until the end of the whole battle? Which case,
my enemies
are
in for a nasty
And
surprise.
I don't plan to be the one dying. So, okay. I will say these skills feel a little more wordy than Darkest Dungeons, but they're also, I think, generally clearer sometimes as to what they actually do. Yeah, let's go with that. Save up. Yeah, save up. I want to get your attacks up. And that's a buff. Allies. Lose initiative, evasion, accuracy. Or evasion, accuracy. Nor's ward doesn't stack. Yeah, that's What's the difference here? Okay, different accuracy, evasion. This one. Okay, oh, it's one. Either my allies get more, or the enemy loses more.
I expect results.
Okay. So, let me crush bones. This will do some magical damage. Overall, physical damage overall should break down some of the armors.
Don't know why. There's no sun up in the sky. Phony weather incoming.
Oh no, I've been shot. Oh wait, no I haven't. Tis but a which is kind of but I can
Your frail bodies fail you.
I guess it's less annoying than if they had a bunch of physical armor. Oh, also, I should mention when I'm comparing, like, Dungeon to this, I'm thinking Darkest Dungeon 1. Not that Darkest Dungeon 2 was bad, I like Darkest Dungeon 1 better. Even though Darkest Dungeon 2 is probably a...
Savor these last few heartbeats.
Given that it was also a roguelike style, while this is more of a... I don't know if I would call this a roguelike or just a progressionary. Yeah. Since the chances of my dying have been pretty low, having to restart, unlike Darkest Dungeon where I'd be almost certainly having to try multiple times. But like every encounter, most of the encounters in Darkest Dungeon
mop up the gore. I'd hate to see plants using it as fertilizer.
Artifact, ladle, increases the chance to receive flasks, spider mandibles, blah, 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 blah. Like Darkest Dungeon 2, if I recall, a lot of the locations felt like they tied in with the story. And they told a bit of the story and all that. This... Ooh, what have we got here? Here your army comes upon a true bastion of dwarven technology, a makeshift factory so massive you wonder how they even managed to carry the materials into these caverns. But such questions matter little. What matters more is to raid this structure and stop the dwarven weapons production. The various workers seem rather ill-equipped to fight your army, so you expect an easy battle. When suddenly one of the dwarves breaks away and runs toward a mechanism meant to trigger the alarm. Face reinforcements. Tracks. Or avoid battle, but some units will be damaged. Sometimes have a headless hunter dragon back here. Well concerned. You merely need to think the order, and a second later, the bowstring is drawn. Within the span of a heartbeat, your bride takes aim and misses one of his legs with her arrow. The dwarf tumbles and falls just as your minions finally fall upon the workers. Okay. Sucks to be you guys. Guarding.
Nice shot, sweetie.
That crit damage is pretty nice. The voice lines here do seem to be a little more tied in with each character in some ways. Like, there's definitely some that are specifically for, like, the Bride of Iratus. Things like that, in response to the enemies having... We should present chance redirect itself. But, I don't know. It's definitely... I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with this game. Let's get through this app, and then I'll maybe get a better idea of how I want to do it. Because this is a lot of acts to go through for all this grinding. Because it feels like no matter what we do, I do have to grind my way through each level, just because there are so many combats. And the quests are just, like, they're kind of cool. They give a bit of a storyline to it in some regards. At the same time, they're more of a... They're feeling more like just a flavor to decide whether you'll have a next battle or reward. It's more of a... ties into a lot of the same.
Ooh, this one voided its bowels just as it died.
That's such a weird line. That line is just kind of weird. It's like, why is that important? And like, why would you or find that amusing? That they voided their bowels as they died. Great. Does it make it easier to work with the body much later? Do you like the steam? Like, something weird about it.
My will is a tide that will wash away your pathetic
increase their spell power. Okay, I don't really care. Not really what I'm interested in. Keep on moving, moving, moving. Alright. Combat. Level. Can I go left or right? I think right. Yeah. Right, and I think that's a quicker route anyway. Hopefully you'll have fewer combats that I have to wade through.
This will be your end.
Anyway, but... oh well. Not like I don't get my mana back pretty quick. Moving into the back right, where is that? Finished. Alright, you're actually doing
Hope there will still be enough left to reanimate.
That one unit seems to actually be doing much facing.
Soon this world will be mine.
I should have thought. Heart of Emptiness, Dark Knight only, Rasmus for... Okay. I think one of the things that really changes the feel between, like, say, Darkest Dungeon in this game and once again, makes this feel more like it's just a drag through rather than a working for progression on a roguelike, is that I lost my train of thought here. Sorry. Oh, there it is. Is that there isn't a lot of carryover between combats. Darkest Dungeon, the stress buildup was a huge component to making a prolonged battle difficult. Even if and your health was a lot harder to keep up and manage in some cases.
Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Bony weather.
Meanwhile, like, yeah, these guys, I have so much here that, like, I get healed more or less after every battle or with a lot of my attacks. I don't have a stress or a building up stuff that would make it so I really have to rest my units. There's nothing. It's missing. And that might be the component that's really missing. It just feels like we're moving through things and then needing a rest after every battle. It's like kind of like how Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, there's a reason there's long rests and short rests, and you only get certain things back on those rests. And some, especially like if you're really working like an experienced DM, they're gonna have things come up that will make you maybe not want to use your rest all the time, or not try to rest all the time. They limit the number of rest, or work in scenarios where, oh yeah, we want to rest. Okay, cool. Oh, unfortunately, you got attacked during the night, or something else like that. Did you have a guard? Like, there's ways to balance it out in ways that still
will is a tide that will wash away your pathetic civilization.
And here, we're not feeling that tension. Like I said, it feels like we just get a long... It feels like we're getting a long rest after every battle. Liver or flesh, whatever. New one for you. Some new blood. Don't really have any new bones. New. Oh, some more armor I could give you. And some rags. Yeah, okay, that's good. Let's just keep going for now. I'll worry about stats upgrades in a bit. Let's bring in you guys just to get a different item from these cultists, because it feels like they always do something tied to my specific units. Reduce Lich deals to its allies. Okay, so Lich is a ally injurer. That seems useful if I ever use Lich, but I really don't have a reason to. Once again, there's no exhaustion really. There's nothing to make me have to swap my units. Oh, I should use that.
Don't know why there's no sun up in the sky. Bony weather.
Did he say bony weather? I think he said bony weather. The odd statement.
Carve open their husks.
Do. I do. Let's see.
Good. More materials. Ooh, I didn't think it would be this easy.
That tells us this is having trouble with. The enemies all feel the same. Like, I'm not going in here and going, that guy looks like a ranged unit. Or that guy's gonna raise my stress levels.
Mine's the winning
I don't have
side.
to worry about this means abilities can't miss. Interesting. But like, I don't have to worry about like looking at my enemies and reading them and going, that particular enemy is going to really wreck my party. It's more, okay. Yeah, like even when I was fighting those giant robots and everything, it was just like, let's get another like level 15 one. Nice, matches what I've got. Like, like even when I'm fighting some of these bigger guys, this should be a lot more daunting feeling than it is. But I look at it and I go, and it doesn't feel like it's any more threatening than the other enemies. When it comes to, say, Darkest Dungeon, there was always one, like, if this enemy came up to do, okay, I have to deal with this enemy first, because it'll destroy me if I leave it, or it'll make other enemies near impossible to deal with. These ones are all just like, cool. I'm going like, alright, yeah, get rid of their immunity buff to physical. Good, I can deal with physical. Do they have immunity buff to magical? Alright, maybe I won't use magical. Or maybe I can get rid of it. It's that sort of difference between these, how this handles. Because it just brings out a different thought process in regards to the end. And with the way the attacks, you don't have to worry about so much. Well, okay, this unit can only hit this spot, when they're in this location, so I should really make sure they're in this location.
Your frail bodies fail you.
Or, there's less stuff that seems to screw with my positioning. The positioning doesn't feel like it's as critical.
You know, if this keeps up, I'll be done purging the world ahead of schedule.
It doesn't have that tension of, if I'm not careful, I will struggle. I will lose. It's just, next level, move on. We're at about the same, we're just building stats up as we go. Which will hopefully be enough then to deal with the enemy boss when we get to them. And with how we're doing, I'm not particularly worried about it. And if I were, I know I could easily just take over. Because the way they do this, I think I could progress down. I could really draw this out. But I don't want to, I just want to
kill, my darling,
that's not a good feeling to have for a game. There's that feeling of, I want to get this done. It's kind of the same problem that a lot of games have, where it's, even some not great games, but sometimes there was just that done feel that comes with having to grind out the resources you need for a specific thing you have to get going. You're just like, I have to grind out this. I have to grind through all of this to get to one thing. And it just doesn't always feel worth it. He's actually going to do some decent damage here with this Thunder Hammer of his. And it's one attack that I might have to worry about. Alright. Yeah, okay, that actually didn't even do a lot. After all. Did I get stunned? One stun. Stun also doesn't seem to really get utilized.
Become part of the breathless tide.
It was essential to constantly be stun blocking enemies because they would destroy you. This one, it doesn't matter. I can tank all the hits.
A sad display for mortal kind.
Mistro. All enemies lose accuracy until the battle ends. Interesting. More ectoplasm. Don't really need that. That's not the mine I wanted. Go to here. Let's go here. Level you all up one more time. Good. Now let's do a little leveling before the boss fight, shall we? Alright. Inflicts a critical hit. A critical hit will deal more damage. Physical, deal more that way, or less damage initially, but deal more critical.
Now, prove
Critical, I'm
yourself
pretty sure, pays off
worthy of
still.
my investment.
And stats. Yes, let's get your attack up. And your luck. You attack up. Ability. Starting next round, Werewolf receives an extra action and deals more damage for 2 turns. Or starting next round, Werewolf receives an extra action for 3 turns. Doesn't spend action, doesn't stack. Blood Moon. That's right, I don't really use your Wrath abilities, do I? That's why this is looking so unfamiliar to me. Mark selected position. Attack doesn't spend the action. This werewolf doesn't miss its attack when target is around. Beginning of this action, this werewolf deals 4% physical. When physical damage to any enemy at the marked position moves to a first position. Attack doesn't spend an action. Werewolf doesn't miss its attack when this one. Alright, yours. You actually do use yours. Okay, if this ability kills a target, the Reaper recovers maximum vigor. Doesn't miss. Doesn't miss is still good either way. Each sanity the target is missing inflicts physical damage, maximum physical damage. And the sanity missing is equal to 1000%. For each. So both have don't miss. Equal to physical damage, maximum physical damage. What's the real difference here? One does a higher percentage. What else is different? There's a missing target is missing, inflict physical damage. Reach that the target is missing, inflict physical damage, maximum physical damage. Vigor and sanity missing, vigor, sanity missing. Oh, okay, so yeah, this one does more overall damage. This one does the if this ability kills a target, the Reaper recovered more. Got it.
Now,
do more damage.
prove yourself worthy of my investment.
Sick. Stat bonus your attack up. Ooh, there's a max level. I didn't realize that. And yours. Instantly destroys an enemy that has less than 20% sanity remaining. I don't even use this attack, so really, because I don't use the sanity attacks. Bosses are immune anyway, so sees until the end of combat. Dread, the end of combat, and more physical. Sure. And I guess I'll get that. Just to get it. Alright, instantly destroys an enemy that has less than 20. Less than 20. 10% vigor at the end of combat. 15% vigor. 20% for receiving damage from this ability. Bosses and edibles. This one deals more damage, but recovers less. Right, well,
Serve me well, my
if I ever do
minion.
use it, I'd rather have it at least be effective. Bosses. Fighting time. Wait, before we go in, artifacts. Might as well toss in a good one-time use item. How about the dynamite? Wrath gains Wrath. But if I get Wrath attacks right off the bat, that's actually really big. Yeah.
It embellishes my undead features.
Okay. Squad 1, of course. Let's send in the rookie squad. When you are a dwarf in a steam machine, you can fight the necromantic whirlwind, though that doesn't mean you'll win. With lessons learned from the previous contraption, a new blueprint was penned for a more compact and mobile version of the war machine, with an even greater amount of firepower and defense against undead trickery. Sure, it's a bit of a death trap with a pair of drunkards coursed into piloting it, but safety is a rather distinct concern for the Alchemist's Guild at this point. Hi! Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Steam Machine MK2 and MK3. You have pretty much the same stats. Okay. That's worthless here. Yeah, you all have basically the same stats for Eclipsy. Well, I definitely can make use of this. New Moon, Prepared Ambush. Because yeah, you're not going anywhere. There's just about a guarantee you're gonna have a buddy nearby. If you guys decide to buff, I'll just destroy that. Let me...
Ah, your frail bodies fail you.
Oh no, I got wrecked. Alright. Did you just do? Okay, but what did you just do? You guys move a lot. Are you guys about to do like a... This feels like the find the prophet, the blind prophet guy in Darkest Dungeon, and they're about to just drop a bunch of stuff on those positions, like they'd have rocks fall from the ceiling. Ooh, alright, yeah, your health. You guys seem to be bouncing around a bit. I'll give my guy yes. Oh, you moved. Sucks to be you. Do that. How is it that I'm hitting you guys both like have you on even damage levels? I feel like one of you should be a lot more hurt than the other. Maybe quit fighting with each other. Sorry about that, everyone. Every once in a while, the dog and the cats get a wild hair in them and feel like they need to fight with each other for.
Don't know why. There's no sun up in the sky. Bony weather in.
Defeat the brothers. That wasn't exactly hard. Okay. Wraith, bonus things, Book of Ancient Wisdom, additional experience from the current level, one-time use, cool, all enemies lose, initiative. Yeah, alright. And congratulations, we're going up. As the dwarves fall before the onslaught of the walking dead, news of the crisis started to spread far and wide. The human kingdom was rich and willing to pay gold, uncountable to whomever could manage to bring them the head of the newly awakened necromancer. They would all gather here in these barracks, cunning rogues and learned mages, knights and elven rangers, all following the siren call of coin. They knew not of the true scope of danger they awaited them. In the end, they were just lambs gathering from before the butcher. Okay, we'll just do one quick battle. Let's see if these guys are any different, or if they still have that samey feel. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Then you do that attack. What did they do? It changed. Oh, you got moved out of position. Buffs and debuffs for everyone then.
Nice shot, sweetie.
You missed. How could you miss? It was 3 feet in front of you. You just did a fair bit of damage, and it was completely eradicated by whatever stat I had there that healed him. What was that healed him like that? That completely undid everything that you did. Like, you did a fair bit of damage there. That looked like a nice chunk out of my health bar. And then it was just undone. Once again, you lack threat. You're still alive? Alright. You guys missed a lot. Really sucks for you guys. Huh.
As your suffering ends, your service begins.
Okay. Well, everyone, I'm gonna end this episode here. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more. I'm just not feeling this nearly as much as I would like to have. Something about it. Wrath against in battle does not work on some minions. Yeah. Like, I just feel like
the formulae reveal their secrets.
Something's missing that it would make me want to keep going with this game. It feels like it's it feels too much like just a grind for no reason other than to be a grind. And the only thing that really changes up the feel are the quests, and that's because it's a break to read something interesting that actually feels like it's connected. It kind of feels like this was wanting to be too many things and it didn't quite hit the right spot. Maybe I like I said, I've been rambling on about it. Something's missing that that doesn't hold me with this game. But if you guys are really enjoying this, I'll keep going with it. Because, like, we are still seeing some things. Maybe something will come up. It just doesn't feel like... It feels very samey for each level. I don't feel like I'm being challenged with a new... Like, having to rethink my strategies. I'm just using the same moves over and over and over again. Because there's nothing that is making me need to do otherwise. Nothing that would be like... Ah, yes, this area, Darkest Dungeon, there were different dungeons. And each one had their own things. Like, if you're going against the fish people, you want these skills. If you were going against the sewers, or the forest, you want these things, because, like, the sewers, you have to watch out for disease. The fish people are more susceptible to, I want to say, was it blight or bleeding? One of those two. Skeletons, I think it was the fish people are more susceptible to bleeding, the skeletons were susceptible to blight, things like that. Like, there were strengths and weaknesses that made every enemy feel unique. And that's probably one of the biggest things tied to this whole, why everything feels so grindy and so samey, is because all the enemies just feel like reskins of the same enemy. They look great, but they don't feel any different. They just feel like I'm fighting the same guys over and over again. And I'm wiping the floor with them. I have 4 squad spaces. I could easily have this full if I wanted, but there's no point. I don't need a 4 squads. I don't even need a second squad, really. Most of the reason I've made new units was to fill in spots in the graveyard, and I don't even need that, really, for most of these things. I just ignoring it now. I thought I was going to need a lot more to keep my resource management going, and it's become negligible. Also, I still don't know how to use potion. Maybe I'm missing something here. Or potions were... Wait, are potions like a creation here that I can activate? Is that part of it? No, I don't see that. So I don't know what's up with potion crafting either, because it feels like... Okay, explosive mixture. Or... this. Fill... craft.
Perfection takes time.
Yeah, we have these potions.
Ingredients.
Do I just auto-apply them then? From here, or is it be something else? That one feels like it has to be applied in battle. But I don't recall seeing a way to use potions. So that is one aspect that seems to be eluding me. I don't know. I'm going to call it here. Thanks so much for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, keep up with new releases. Like I said, comment below, let me know what you think. Do you want to see more of this? What is your opinion on this game? Maybe I'm being biased against it. But the feel like Darkest Dungeon makes me just compare it. And also, I think that's why, like, how much I love Darkest Dungeon compared to what the feel is here is just weirdly different compared, given the similarities at the same time. And I don't feel like there's a better comparison for me. I don't know. Hey everyone, bye. Take care.